My time in the service, I did a lot of amazing things. I was very fortunate to have some cool opportunities.
United States Marine Corps veteran Mastery Gunnery Sergeant Gail Horn is your military hero for the month of February. She is a decorated veteran, having served 25 years in the Marines. Horn grew up in rural Minnesota and in her mid-20s realized it was time for a career change because, as she puts it, there's a level of camaraderie that one can only find in the Marines.
You know what? I think it's time for me to make a career change. I call it my first midlife crisis because I was 26 when I went to boot camp.
So on January 10th, 1984, Horn arrived at Parris Island, South Carolina for Marine boot camp. Her first permanent duty station was in North Carolina, where her primary job was in aviation electronics, as she was a deceptive electronics countermeasures repair technician, working in the helicopter portion of the air wing. After working in her MOS and then teaching it, Horn was presented with the opportunity to be a Marine drill instructor.
It is without a doubt one of the most challenging tours of duty I had, being a female drill instructor. We're a little bit harder on ourselves because we're so few. We call ourselves the fewer the prouder.
Like some challenges in life, those that seem to be the hardest end up being the most rewarding, as she would go on to be a drill instructor for a total of 6 platoons, with her Marines going on to live amazing lives and careers.
It was probably one of the most challenging things I've ever done, but it's also one of the things where I really grew emotionally and within myself. You know, where you find out, are you tin or titanium? What kind of metal are you made of?
And Horn is titanium. After talking with her, I'd even go as far to say she's tungsten, which is, for those of you who don't know, one of the strongest metals on Earth. Yes, I had to Google that one. She would spend a few years in Japan, something she said was a memorable time, being able to take her daughter across the world, even doing things like go to Japanese Disney World. After Japan, Horn would work at the Marines headquarters as an enlisted career counselor, a highlight in her career as she would guide people within the service and help them plan and advance their military careers. Then she got deployed to Iraq, where she did have a close call.
We started getting bombed. We started getting hit. Rockets were hitting left and right. And I remember the one girl, because they were really close to leaving. I mean, I was freaking out because I'd been in country 3 days. I'm like, oh my God, what do I do? And they're sitting there going, and she's putting her mascara on, and she's going, and it sweeped because the rocket hit right then. She wipes it off, finishes getting dressed, and goes because she was with Scarface. They were the light attack helicopters. And so guess who's going to go try to find out who was rocketing us? Scarface. So she knew she needed to get going real quick.
March is Women's History Month. This year's theme is celebrating those who tell the stories.
All these women have done so many things, and every woman has a story to tell. And it's important that we, hear them and appreciate them, because in so many countries, women are still put down so badly. And some places here even, depending on the situation. It's easier to rise up from it here. It is a lot of places.
Only about 8% of the Marines is made up of women, so when reflecting on her time as a Marine, Horn recalls she had to rise above the challenge of being in the minority.
I remember my senior drill instructor telling me, you're going to have to be 20% better just to be considered equal. And I kind of carried that through my career.
And she has one final message to all the women out there who are considering becoming a Marine.
Do it. If you want to be a Marine, be a Marine.
Horn is also very active in the local VFW and is the service officer for the Disabled American Veterans and secretary for the Marine Corps League. She's also an avid seamstress and used to train and show Cocker Spaniels, having a few dogs and cats of her own as well. Thank you, Gail Horn, to your service to your country and to all the current and retired service members out there. And a special shout out to all the women watching. Adam Seibel, 25 News Now.